This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so happy Monday. Today is Monday, October 12th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So we got a bunch of stuff going on out there, definitely a lot of cheaper stocks, and then a few, actually not even a few, but definitely some stuff going on. So first thing I'm going to be looking at is HUYA. So we can see it took a pretty big hit coming into this morning. So from 28 all the way down to pretty much our lows right here of that 23, 25-ish level. The one thing coming in is that we do have some decent prints that came in at 24. So the one thing is that there hasn't been a ton, and the volume that it came down on isn't as terrible as it could be. But the foundation, once again, is really just not there, on top of there that showed enough selling for us to really be pushing this much. It just had a lot to do with the fact that the orders were very thin, spread, pretty wide during that time period. But we do, like I said, we have a little bit of selling that came in at this 24 level. You can see 24.10 and 24, and then nice little burst right here. It is getting a little bit mixed. We got another nice burst at 8:48 right before we started our meeting at 24. But the thing about this is that based off of the way that it's trading right now, I'm going to have to expect a pretty substantial pullback. And obviously, I can't go any higher than 25 being such a psychological level. But the fact that it came down on really not that much and how much selling is coming in at this level, I'm really going to be expecting, at least, like I said, right around a 50 cents to $1 pull up from those prints first before we would end up continuing back down towards those 24. The one thing that we are looking for, we get a little bit, but we don't really have the riders that came in that have come in yet to really show us that this thing is going to move $1. So obviously that's the first thing that we're going to be looking for us to go back towards that upside, and then once again from there we want to start to see that selling building for us to break down below this consolidation, and then that guy, the person at 24, to start making their money towards that downside. All right, LIZI. So another one this morning. So we came into this consolidation right here. There's some really, really great buying around those basically 430 area. It's not going to let me go all the way back. And then we have some decent prints, not anything crazy, but some decent prints at that 450. So we're really kind of pulling back from seeing that much buying coming into that consolidation. And then at some point, we're really going to be looking for a little bit under 4, which we kind of pulled already, but then a trigger towards the upside to be able to get towards that 450 is definitely where we're going to be looking. I would like to see a little bit more of a pullback just to give us more room on the trigger to get to that point. And then obviously 450 has those ass prints, so once we get there, we definitely want to see some type of shorter term prints coming in to show us that's going to be able to break. And then we're going to be looking for our double top up here. Obviously 5 being right above, be very careful because we usually see a lot of people kind of sell off a little bit early. And then if we do get to that 5, as always, we're going to be expecting lots of games to start to be played. MDLY, another beauty, had some really great buying that came in at this 2 level. I'm surprised it didn't really pull back that much. Came in right about here, and then we came down towards that 2 and kind of pushed up from there. But even from the push up, we've still been seeing some really nice new buying coming in. Obviously, stock was 59 cents there. This is a huge, huge move. So we're going to see, without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to see profit taking being taken here. But we want to make sure that news buying is still continuously coming in. And for, since I've been looking at it this morning, we definitely have seen a ton of new buying. So unfortunately, at this point, there's not much that we can do because we're not going to try to chase this above those highs. So really what I would like to see is that this thing pulls back from that huge amount of buying at 2, even if it's just a little bit, and then we kind of trigger back up, even though it looks like it's starting to really kind of go. We know, especially with not getting our pullbacks, that, in any point, we could just see that bar coming back down. So unfortunately, right here, I can't chase it. I'm not going to trade it towards those highs. So that's really the only situation I can look for, and or look at this coming towards that 250 level. If we can continue that high, then we get some nice prints there, pull back from them, and then continue back up on our way. But unfortunately, the entry's already kind of been here already, especially with that amount of buying that we saw, not only come in at that 2, but a little bit over. So there's lots of potential here. It's just for an actual entry, there's a few things that are going to need to happen. DOYU, another one where it's got some really nice range coming into this morning. And one thing that I really would like to see is that just some more prints. Now, early this morning, you can see right before 8 o'clock, we did have some really nice bursts that started, basically about high 15s to low 16s. So there is buying here for this thing to come back and really be able to move. Unfortunately, we're sitting at that exact point. And as you can see, 1630, again, right in that area, we're seeing there is a market maker that is interested in buying here. So even though these are off level, they're still at 1630. I'm going to have to expect this thing to kind of drop a little bit, 16 in that area before we could even think about going back towards that upside. But there's definitely room on that based off of the bigger positions that we've been seeing coming into the stock, especially right in this area, because not only did it happen early this morning, right before 8, but we could see coming into 9. So you're talking about, over an hour, and it's still somebody's coming back in that same spot. So definitely liking it towards the upside, but just going to need that little bit of a pullback first. And then obviously WKHS, everybody is talking about probably the best prints that we've seen coming into this morning. I mean, yeah. So one thing about this, guys, this was not leaked, and the reason it wasn't leaked is because remember, 27 was hit and then it came. We want to see one burst that actually takes out everything, and that is not what happened here, regardless of the fact that just beautiful, beautiful sell prints. And you can see this thing was just absolutely perfect off of it, just right straight move up, huge print out of print personality, obvious, a pull-up trade nonetheless. And then we're going to obviously be looking for it to get that trigger back down. But just remember, we want to see those riders coming in. This definitely showed a shorter term coming in underneath like this. So keep that in mind, but we still need to see these riders bringing it back down. Normally, I wouldn't even put WKHS on our list just because it's basically a stock that we kind of look at almost every single day. It's got a long story to it. But at the same time, when you get prints like that, I don't care what the story is. I'm going straight off them. And as you can see, like I said, just a perfect pull-up trade off of those. And we're going to be looking back down toward those prints. But just remember, these are definitely longer term based off of everything that we've seen within print personality today, longer term. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there? So not a bad list at all for a Monday. We definitely have some stuff to be looking at, and obviously as we get closer to the open, we're going to continue to see more. We keep in mind our focus, simplicity. Make sure we keep things simple. We look for those those controlling prints out of print personality, and we look for the trade itself, not as at the stock as an entire whole. All right, guys. So let's get ready for our morning. I will talk to everybody in the chat, and happy trading.